Social media continues to make people delusional. Now, I'm going to do specific videos about delusion here in the future, but my, oh my, oh my, oh my. And I'm talking about many categories here. You have people right now, because it's becoming trendy on social media to become an entrepreneur, that literally think you're going to come into being an entrepreneur and running your own business, and that people are going to help you. And there's all these free resources, and it's going to be easy. And I'm going to work, 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week or whatever the hell the next famous, quote is. And I'm going to make, multiple six figures and this and that. And I'm sitting here, somebody who grinded the first couple of years as being an entrepreneur and continues to grind harder than those people, saying, dude, you are absolutely out of your freaking mind. You are out of your mind. The delusion is crazy, and you see it in every area, in finances and social media and relationships. It is nuts. Average women thinking they're celebrities. We have dudes who still live with their parents who are absolute losers, again, thinking they're a boss and they deserve everything. Again, I'll go into specific categories later, but we have to get a grip on this thing. And I'm not doing this to bash people or whatever, but this is, if you happen to watch this video, right, you really need to check yourself in all these different categories. Are you being delusional? Because there's a fine line between aspiring for more and really going after your goals, where you're kind of flirting with that line. Like, I remember when I got into real estate, my goal was to make over 200,000 commission my first year. Now, why was that not delusion? And what makes that different in regards to a goal that you set? Well, when you go back to that first year, as that example, I worked my ass off. I was working 12, 14, 15 hours a day, just nonstop grind, following a strict schedule, disciplined. I mean, when I tell people what I did and show them, they're just blown away. So then it's not delusional because I'm working my ass off for it. You could say that I have no background, no experience, sure, but that's not delusion. So we can draw a clear separation there. But, when I wake up now and let's say I get into the modern day stuff that people, I'm this, I deserve. No, you don't deserve anything. You get what you earn and what you work for. That's it. We don't deserve anything. Just because you were born doesn't mean you deserve this and that. Like, where did that terminology come from? Is there a bunch of gurus online? Oh, you deserve this and that. No, you don't deserve anything. You're going to have to work for it and earn it. That's it. That's how everybody has to do it. We're all on that equal footing when it comes to that. And again, if you prescribe to that, sorry to tell you, if no one's told you, you're delusional. Again, I don't say it as an insult. It's to wake you up. It's to get you to at least consider my perspective. It may help you. Like the people who are having continuous issues in a category. If you can't keep a job, you're the problem, not the jobs. If you can't keep a relationship, you're the problem. Look in the mirror, take responsibility. Otherwise, you're delusional. But what happens? We go to the internet. And on the internet, you can find any group, any creator, or whatever to fulfill and justify your delusion and put you deeper and deeper into it. So our culture, our social media culture, perpetuates this even more. It's nuts. Because I've made mistakes too in regards to when I was younger and even the last couple of years and certain beliefs and thought processes that I had, but I had to change them. I had to come to the conclusion, be as objective as possible and look at this thing and say, hey, I made mistakes. And when I make a mistake, I apologize and I move on. I change the way of thinking. As many of you, before all my other social media platforms were deleted or destroyed, you saw along the journey, right? I made a lot of great decisions. I made some bad ones. I had some great beliefs, some not so good beliefs. I changed, we evolved, we grew, we championed what was strong. We admitted where we were wrong. We moved on. We moved forward. That's how it's supposed to be. And I confided in the people that I designated to help me. At any point, if I'm being delusional or crazy, let me know so I can adjust. You got to allow at least the people that you designate and pay or assign as a leader or your mentor in these areas, you have to allow them to check you. That will stop a lot of this delusion. And if you're spotting delusion, call it out. Even if you're labeled the bad guy. I'm labeled the bad guy all the time for simply stating facts. That's okay. I'm willing to do that. Even if somebody watches this video and gets upset with me, but if at some point now, today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, you finally, even for a brief moment, consider my perspective or the other side, then good. Then I'll take whatever heat you give me, because then we made a step towards progress. Good. Because we're all stuck in our ways. We all have at least moments of delusion. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm so perfect. I'm not. But I'm willing to admit it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm the perfect businessman. I'm a perfect 10 in the dating market. Like, again, you're being delusional if you say that type of stuff. We have to exercise reality, humility, right? But when you have the right references around you and you have good people around you that check you in these categories, it stops you from getting off your high horse. This is why social media has become a poison for people. You see this so much. People get a following and suddenly I would see this all the time. I'll never forget. I remember I went on one of many, right? What do they call them? Rallies, right? For the cars. I used to own the Lamborghini for a couple of years, right? And one of the rallies that I was invited on, man, I was super appreciative and thankful to Scott. You know, their crew came out from like Kansas, invited me and some other people. And some of the other people were like bigger car social media influencers on the internet, right? A couple of them had a couple 100,000. I think one or two of them had like 1 million followers. You know, they invited me because I was cool with one of them. But at the time, I wasn't a big creator. I maybe had like 50,000 on YouTube, my original YouTube channel that's no longer out, and whatever. So I'm doing the thing. And right away, I'm noticing, man, these other kids that got invited here are disrespectful. And they're basically being delusional, as if this type of treatment is like what they should get. And I remember, I think it was the second night, I did a speech and I was like, hey, let me get everybody's attention real quick. Like, Scott organized this thing and y'all are being disrespectful. You're not shouting him out. You're not showing any of the footage of the rally. You barely mention it. You don't even follow us. You go off and do your own little side adventures instead of doing the rally with us. Man, y'all are disrespectful. And then they just scoffed and continued. And Scott thanked me for doing that, right? Then if I try to have private conversations with them, oh, well, how many followers do you have? Stupid, being delusional. Then I come to find out later, a lot of the big organizations that work in the car world blacklisted those kids because they think everyone should roll out the red carpet for them because they claim they're celebrities because of their follower number. Delusion. Then when I find out how much money they were making, I'm like, dude, you make X amount of money online because of ad revenue. I make 4, 5, 6 times what you make with 1/10 or 1/20th or 1/30th of your following. If you had a little bit more humility and you were actually respectful, I would teach you how to do this thing properly. Delusional. You see, but that causes a lot of consequences and repercussions that people don't see. Let's say I'm a young girl. I get all this attention on social media. That deludes you. You think I'm hot. I'm the hot commodity. Everybody wants me. I see it all the time, especially in the younger generations. It's kind of scary. We have to get back to reality. And many people need to put the phones and YouTube down and the iPads and the whatever and get out in the real world and move and speak to people and see how the world and everybody in it actually responds to you, not your Instagram profile or TikTok or whatever it is. We are so deluded. We believe what circulates on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook more than what we readily live and observe in real life. Insane. Insane. And that has to change. But we are very, very delusional. I've had my moments too, believe me. So if you spot delusion, call it out. If you know you're being a little bit delusional with something, like you think you're just going to build a business and work an hour a week, you're delusional, right? There's no, I'm not going to walk on eggshells, or I'm just going to tell you like it is. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Then all you need to do is attune yourself to be able to hear direct communication that could potentially ruffle your feathers without you getting emotional. That's a process that everybody has to go through. How do I know this? Because I used to have a short temper and that stuff pissed me off. But now you can sit here and berate me. I'll have a smile on my face and say, okay, you done yet? It won't affect me. But that's a process that we need to go through. If I say something and it triggers you, that's not my problem. That's your problem. You need to be able to work through it. This is how delusional we are, where we walk around telling people, you can't say this, you can't post this. And people have attacked my businesses and gotten some of my social media shut down because they get triggered. That's not my problem. That's theirs. All you need to do is block me or not watch me, period. That's how crazy we've allowed this madness to continue. And that's how out of control it is. I've had over a decade of hard work on social media evaporated because of stuff like this. And it is insane. But unless we do something about it, unless you call it the delusion, unless you stop being delusional yourself, nothing's going to change. We want the collective to change. Individuals need to start changing and being an example of change first. Then things will change. But we got to do something about this, guys. Stop being so delusional. Share this video. Check with yourself. Because like I said, and I'll say it for like the 5th time on this video, I've had my moments too of delusion. But everything I ask for now and everything that I do, I've earned. My track record speaks for itself. But make sure that you're grounded, your feet are on the ground, that you're not getting into these fairy tales, and that you do your best to be representation of being grounded, expressing and demonstrating humility, not being braggadocious and all that weird stuff, and making sure that when you spot delusion, you call it out. You don't have to be disrespectful about it, but call it out. I do. I don't care if I'm painted as the bad guy. I do, because I know the truth and reality has to be championed and put front and center. Otherwise, things are just going to keep getting worse and worse. All right? So if you're with me, leave a comment. Stop the delusion. All right? I'll see you guys.